malheureusement Afrique sans fric. Oh, naso idée. Naso idée. Yendenika. Mais oui, c'est comme ça. Eh oui.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Now You Know Podcast, and we are here. Another night, another episode, another topic. With me tonight, I have Nda, I have Chef Car, I have Blesso, and we have a guest, but let him wait. I'll bring him in when the time is correct. Before we get started, make sure you check us out on Instagram at NYK Podcast, and we are also on Twitter at Now You Know One. And once again, this episode is brought to you by our good friends at SITM, that is stuck in the middle. Gentlemen, how are we doing? Happy Hump Day.
Happy Friday, man. Hey,
Happy Wednesday.
He's
look,
excited for the
look,
weekend.
it's Hump Day, man. And I had a
Of course.
3-day weekend, so
Three-day
my mind is
weekend.
not even on this weekend anymore,
Nah, it
bro.
seems like you have plans already on Friday.
Rewind. He said it's what day?
Friday.
Hump Day, bro.
Ah,
Come
of
on.
course
Mike,
you would
Mike,
know.
Mike. What day is
Of
it?
course he would know. Of course he would know.
Hump Day.
Mm,
I'm good, man. Bill, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. I haven't humped yet, but I'm good.
No worries. The day is still young.
Yeah, right. Time's the day. Let's go. How you doing? Chef Ka, how you doing? Chef, did you cook today?
I'm frozen, man.
Look at what I'm eating. Hey, Jesus! I almost dropped it.
It's part-time chef, man.
What's this?
The
Salmon.
hell is that?
Salmon, and did you make it?
Of
Or you
course
bought
not.
it? We
I
That
made
looks
this
more
one.
like salmonella.
I made this one. The salmon. Look at it. Eh?
Mm,
Well
Uh,
cooked.
mm,
Well done.
mm.
I eat my salmon well
Ah,
done, guys.
enough with your food. Enough with your food. Nobody cares. You
I don't
probably
know if
didn't.
you
You
said.
probably didn't even cook it.
I did. Look, I even had my rice and my pear
You
right
say look,
inside.
like look. Me looking
See
doesn't
this?
prove that you cooked it.
Rice
Say
and
look.
pear. Rice and
I
pear
don't know. I don't know
inside.
if it's your camera quality, but that food looks like trash, bro. Sorry.
It looks like you said?
It looks like trash.
Like you.
Ooh, bro.
Mr.
I
Anti
like cool.
Abubakar. Anyway, tonight we'll be talking about a very interesting topic. It's gonna be a two-part series, and we'll be talking about it from the African perspective, and then we're gonna bring the Western perspective in the next part, and we'll be talking about careers. You know, we live in a society where you know you can pretty much do anything you want, right? But in some instances, based on culture or your upbringing, you tend to see that some careers are accepted versus the ones that are not. So to help us out tonight, we have a special guest, Mr. Theodore Minkala. He is a designer at night, but during the day, he's a sailor in the U.S. Navy. Mr. Minkala, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Uh,
Oh, great. Thank you so much for having me.
hmm So
hey, man, thank you for your service.
customary on NYK podcast. All I guess you have to, tell us one fun fact about you.
Make sure it's fun too.
I'd say fun fact is my favorite meal is rice and beans.
I said, is that fun?
Were you in boarding school when you were in Cameroon? Did you go to boarding school?
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Okay.
Tell.
What school?
Shorogan.
What school? Bishop Rogan.
Shorogan, yeah.
Hey.
I will not comment.
Where's that at?
It's in a small support. Yeah.
The
Oh,
village.
okay.
It's a village. Cousin, please respect yourself. Respect yourself. So
It's
I'm
not
gonna,
that village.
I'm going to say it's not a village. So I'm going to get right into it, right? So how do you want me to call you? Tita, Theodore, Monsieur Minkala,
Anyone that will
senior
float
man,
your boat.
senior man, officer.
No, I'm not an officer.
Now in Cameroon or maybe like most African countries, right? Whenever I see somebody who is in the military or serving, of course we call them officer. It's a more of a respect thing than than a rank thing. But anyway, so you are in the U.S. Navy, right? Like,
Yep.
what made you go down that path?
Uh, I can't tell you it's a single thing. It's a lot of things that made me join the military. Um, like I said, the overall thing was me trying to get a clearance and actually travel. I was trying to leave where I was at and basically just get on the boat and go wherever they send me, Australia, Japan, Bahrain, wherever it be. So it was like an opportunity for me to be in a different country, try a new thing, and change my life. Basically.
Mm, fair enough. I know you mentioned life changing, right? So bless so I know you are in your extracurricular activities. You are, you do refereeing, in different leagues. So in terms of life changing, right? Is it more of you want to do what you love, or do you want to do something that puts food on the table, or is it a little bit of both?
I think for me, it started as me doing something that I love because obviously we know I love football, soccer, as they call it here. But while doing that and enjoying that, I have um, come across so many people and made so many new friends that I can call at any time of the night or any time of the day if I needed help. So it has been life changing in that aspect.
Factos, factos. And Chef Carr, Mr. Money, eh?
Who's Mr. Money?
Mr. Money,
Please.
the guy who fires people left and right.
I,
So
I don't
now
fire
that
people,
now that we're
please.
talking about now that we're talking about life changing, right? You're changing lives, but not in a good way.
Nah. Yo.
So
Oh
I
man.
mean, okay, but on a serious note, right? It takes a lot to be a manager, right? Because you have to definitely make tough decisions, right? So at what point do you draw the line between I'm gonna give you another chance versus you're done?
All right. So I'm not a manager. We don't use that word. I'm a team leader. I'm a people leader. That's our main thing. And repeat your question again.
And
Question.
you are leading
I
people.
I just want to make sure I answered the
No, no,
right
no, yeah,
way
yeah, you're right. So
because I could
the
answer it.
question is that, right? As a team leader, to what you said, you guys are not called manager. As a team leader, right? At what point do you say, okay, this person, I'm gonna give you another chance versus you're done?
Um, so with us, it's a little bit different because I'm dealing in an environment where they're protected by a union.
Hmm.
So if it was a regular job, it would be a lot less than it is with this. So, basically, it's going to come down to how many conversations, documented conversations I've had with that about you. Have I tried to teach you the right thing to do? Have I demonstrated that you know the right thing to do? So if I can prove that you've demonstrated that you know what to do and you did not do it, then I would then give you strike one because you know you can do it. You do it again, strike two, and then next thing you know, strike two is going to be suspension.
Hmm.
And then if you do it again, then strike three. But before we get to that point, it's going to take a lot of me coaching you and telling you what to do, make sure you understand, you proving that you understand it, and then get on with the firing, as you may say.
Wicked man, just
Hey,
changing
look, man.
lives, changing
Hey,
lives left and right.
you know it's crazy. I may fire, but I've hired more than I fired.
Oh, that's good. That's
So
good.
yes.
So I guess two wrongs to make a right.
No, no, no. I said I've hired more than I fired. So if you do the math, I'm changing lives for the positive.
Got you, got you. So I see, right? So we just went through three different people, right? And not not any of them mentioned that they do what in terms of, well, when we were growing up, right? The ideal career path was what? Pilot, doctor, lawyer, um,
Engineer,
Engineer,
maybe.
engineer,
engineer.
those kind of, things like that. So, but we just went through three people that they don't do that, right? So is that like a cultural change, or are our parents more accepting that there's a lot more to life than just those career paths that they wanted us to do back then when we were young?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a lot of some of acceptance, because I think initially it's like they don't have the knowledge of. It's like they want us to be what they see, or what they see, like the type of people that influence society, or who have influenced the society, and who can, so they're most likely seeing lawyers and doctors and stuff like that, because that's what they're, initially, like, exposed to. So, but us coming to America and then seeing the different, like, career paths that people can take, and how they're very lucrative as well. Like, what, like our like our sailor in the Navy, or what Carson does, or what Blesso or myself do. I think, them seeing that and knowing that, this, because ultimately I feel like, as parents, even as African parents, all the one is for us to be able to provide for ourselves and our families. And when I say family, I don't mean like our kids. I mean our uncle and aunt and extended family. You feel me?
lives in that house there.
That auntie Mulan, you know what I'm saying? So I think, as long as, look, if you're a plumber and that plumber can help auntie who's in Mulan somewhere, hey, it is what it is,
Hey, please leave Mulang out of this.
So I
Steve makes a
think
good point though.
there's a lot of acceptance, because, and also back then it was like, also like, even to now, I think it's like prestige, and like, like, if you, like you say, your son is like a doctor, your family, they're hiring up in, like, events and stuff like that. They're very quick to, like, say, oh yeah, my son is a doctor, my son went to, Harvard or Princeton or something like that. So it was because, all us coming from the same background, we all have the same sort of, like, similar background history, and our families sort of, like, struggle to get where they are. So for us to be in the same position, they're gonna put us in that light, like, oh yeah, I came from this place, and my son made it to this place. So, but again, I think it's definitely a lot of acceptance that has had to go on over the years, and especially coming to America and seeing things how they are in different environment, different light.
Wow.
So I honestly think he made some good points, but I disagree with some of the things he says though. As far as the acceptance, I don't think they accept it at all until you showcase success.
Okay,
I
that's
Yeah,
think
for
that
sure.
acceptance comes after that.
Yeah.
And even
Yeah.
with that, I still think they're still stuck on the ways of doctor, engineer, lawyer, nurse.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
it's here below, because like you said, they want to high up with everyone. They want them to say, "Oh, my son's a doctor. My son went here." But also a key part is they want stability. They want to know that
Long term.
you're successful and stuff like that. But if they see, we didn't even talk about you, what you do, which we need to coming up next. But like IT is becoming the new thing now, where it's considered almost prestigious. My son is an IT person and stuff like that. Where it's like before, earlier 5 years ago, it wasn't, because they've seen not just us do it and be successful, but they also like to be able to see their peers and do it and be successful at it, because they're gonna listen to their peers before they listen to you. To be
For
honest with
sure.
you,
Yo,
and
in it, what you said is like IT is becoming prestigious. I feel like, in, looking from, in the terms of, like, African, parent background, I feel like prestigious is equal to pay. If
yes,
the pay is
yep,
high, the prestige, goes up,
Yeah.
because
yep,
there are a lot of, like, people out there who are in this other, like, career fields, and they're not making as much. But so I definitely agree with you. When they see that the path that you take is not is giving it's very lucrative, and there's a lot of money in there, and you can provide for yourself and your family and extended family, especially back home. I think they accept it, for sure, for sure.
So let
but
me ask.
there's some careers though that don't carry prestige at all, no matter how much money you can make. Like a plumber,
Hey,
like you mentioned earlier, those
look,
guys
no,
make
no,
six
no.
figures easily.
See, for plumbers, right? If you when you go home and say, "Oh yeah, I'm a waterworks engineer,"
See what the was. Yeah.
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
that.
that's why that's why you have to go and, like,
You have to
package
go
it
and
and
yeah,
tell the
Mechanical
parents.
right.
engineer, just
Yeah,
so
Or,
you
you be like,
or
understand.
you
yeah,
say you're a contractor, right? You don't have to
yeah,
actually say
contractor. That's
exactly what
it.
you do.
Oh,
So,
contractor is a big word.
but then again, right? Let me ask officer here. So in terms of, everyone's talking about prestige and everyone's talking about how much you make. At the end of the day, right, you want to have that balance between working, making money, and being happy, right? So it's not always going to be about, doing something because you want to make money. At the same time, because if you're just in there for the money, you're going to get burned out if you don't like what you do, right? So you saying that you wanted to go to the Navy because you wanted to travel, you wanted to change your lifestyle and things like that, right? That's because you're doing it to be happy. At the same time, you know, you're getting, I guess, you're getting something out of, being in the Navy, right? So in terms of that balance, right? Do you think that being in the Navy, is giving you that proper balance of finance and also, happiness?
Not yet. I can't tell you about the finance part per se because in the Navy you get paid according to your rank. Right now I'm at E3. You can literally Google how much I make every month, and once you strike the rate, strike the rank, you go up. That's how your money increases. But it comes with other benefits. Be it if you're deployed, be it if you're married, if you have kids. The Navy takes care of people. I don't have to ever worry about housing. Even if I want to stay out of the base, I still pay for my housing, I pay for insurance and everything. So the money aspect, having $4,000 checks for five every month, I might, I'm never gonna see that unless I become like a chief, just like maybe 12 years down the road. But the opportunities are there. The opportunities are there. Meeting new people, like actually being part of something new and being part of something thrilling. From the etiquettes we do, the way we dress, the stuff we do. It's kind of fun looking at it and doing cool jobs, working with like different kind of machineries, learning other stuff. It's fun, especially at this stage of my life where it's like I'm thinking more of long term, where when it's all said and done, you want your family to be taken care of. You want to have like your security or whatever. And but now if I have to balance that out, yeah, the Navy can provide me in the long term that security and also that happy lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So talking more long term, right? So pretty much, I think most of our parents are now, because right now all of us, right, we're in information business, right? So when you go out there and you do the research and say, okay, this is the job that my child is doing, based on what I've seen, it's making sense. Because even some of our parents, right, or maybe people that are older than us, they have left, either they're leaving school, or they're leaving their own career, maybe like in the medical field, to come do stuff in IT, right? Why? Because the trend is that those jobs are, like, there's a need, right? There's a need for that. I'm not saying that there's not a need for doctors or lawyers or what have you, but the current trend is IT, right? For example, I do SAP, right? And my company is hiring like crazy. Why? Because all the big companies are trying to implement SAP and they need people to do that. So somebody who could be, struggling, could be struggling in school, would be like, you know what? I can go be SAP certified in 2 months, and boom, I get a job just like that, right? So I think right now, even our parents or people older than us are seeing this trend and they're jumping on it, right? It's a wave. They're jumping on it. So what do you think? Is it just like they're chasing the money, or do you think that there's something else?
Well, when you guys were talking about it earlier, I was something came to mind that sometimes we're growing as kids, we want to be a lawyer, we want to be a doctor, you want to be all of that, but you don't know what it takes to become that. Once you start growing up and you start seeing the requirements, and you're thinking about, if I have to become a doctor, I have to go to school for about 8 years. That's when you're finished I guess, college. And when you talk to your family sometimes and you talk to them, you say, you know, yes, I can go through this school for all these years and become a doctor, and I'll probably have so much debt. Um, but at the same time, I can go take an SAP course or certificate that will take me maybe 2 months, and I'll make a decent amount of money, and I'll not be in debt. So sometimes it's just we want to be something, or our family members want us to be something, but they don't know what it takes to get there. So
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Definitely agree with that. So because a lot of times, right, when you get into a program, maybe the first two courses are like, man, this thing is easy. But then when you move on to the next step, you have to get up at 6 a.m., you sleep at 2 a.m. So it's like you have to put in the work, right? I'm not saying like we're not saying that those certifications are easy. They're really not, right? They're not easy, right? It's just like going to school as well. You have to put in the work. Definitely have to put in the work. Um, because at the end of the day, if you don't put in the work, when you get to the job, you cannot perform. And what happens when you don't perform? Carson has to call you and fire you, and
Hey,
we don't and we don't and we don't want that. So
hey,
now would be a good time
You
for
know
us.
that's his favorite thing to do. So
please.
So,
The only fire I do is in the kitchen, bro, or on the grill.
if I
yeah,
do it
burn
in
the
the
kitchen down.
but no one, let me not speak. Let me not speak. But anyway, let's dive into our first segment of the day, which is our African proverb. So the proverb today says that the sun does not forget a village just because it is small.
Tell that to the people in Alaska.
They're feeling cold. Let me say it again. The sun does not forget a village just because it is small. Monsieur Tita, you have to dissect this proverb for us. Tell us what you
Please,
think it means.
because Aristide cannot help you. He
Yeah, that
doesn't know
that cap
himself.
is that cap is covering all his senses.
Okay,
I get
the sun. I mean, if you're looking at the sun is like this almighty thing that's always present. You know, it's always there, shining lights on everything and everybody. So I don't, it's, I mean, the easy word I'm gonna say is that the sun is always there to do its job. You know, it's always gonna be there at a certain time. It's always gonna come up and go down. If the village is there, the sun is gonna shine. If the village is not there, the sun is still gonna shine. So that's my own with that. I think the
I
sun is
see you're
gonna
shaking
shine
your head.
regardless.
look. If the Navy sailor says that's what it is, that's what it is, bro. Look, I'm not gonna go against my own government, my own military. Look,
Your own government, eh?
I have a blue passport. I can't do that.
Yeah, blue passport.
Hey,
Shout out to the blue passport. So, I mean, we've been talking about, different careers left and right, but one thing that we didn't really touch on is that, outside of being a sailor, Mr. Tita here is also a designer. So can you tell us a little bit about, how you got into that and like what do you make? Just give us a little background about what you do outside of saving lives.
Um, well, I started designing and making clothes in 2016. When I had my first corporate job in Boston, I was new to the place and people asked me questions about Africa. You know, the same questions I ask everybody. Oh, where are you from? People giving hugs and people this, that, and the third. So with that, I found myself talking a lot about where I was from, how we dress, how we talk and stuff like that. So, I used to wear some of my clothes to come to school. Like I wear my dashiki, I wear some other stuff that my mom had bought for me, and people always be like, "Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's nice," and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, they sent this for me and that." And then it went from that to me actually being inspired by my co-worker. She was in the other cubicle and she had just made this very simple drawing of somebody on the dress. And then I just asked her like, hey, I kind of like that. Like, do you think I can use it? Or do you think we can make something together? And then she said yes. And then she literally went from there. And then I took that drawing and went to my other coworker and took her measurements. So when I started, I had like two outfits. And I sent them. I made final touches, pick the colors, pick the tailor, and I was like, okay, I want you to make this, make this, make this, make this, and then they made it in Cameroon, and then they sent it. And then my coworkers now put them on. One was black, one was white, and they'll always put them on, like probably like once a month, and that was it for me from there. That was just it for me. It was like, oh, like the expression on their face, they were like so happy, it was so nice, they loved it. They didn't really wear it because they wanted to make it. It was like really like an outfit for them. So it started off from there. Okay, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this, for fun. And then I kind of like met other people that were like in the urban thing, like from musicians and stuff like that. And there'll always be shows coming up, shows where you have um people that will do music, you have people that will do fashion, you have people that do spoken word. So it was that also gives me a platform for me to showcase what I was doing. So, I made my first collection, brought it out there, told people about it, gave out my information, gave out merch to people, and then it was just there. It was just it from there. I kept making stuff. I kept making stuff. Every time I have an idea, I kind of write it down, draw it out, pick the color, and then when I had the time and the money, I'll put it together and then show people. And I'll literally make it and then walk up to people and be like, hey, I have this really cool outfit. I think you're gonna like it. And then that's kind of how it was for me. And so it went from that to actually me, registering it as a business, being official with it, and then doing these other stuff that I'm doing. So most of the time I'm like styling people. I make stuff for females, males, kids. I focus mainly on Akara fabric, but I'm like I diversify a little bit. I can use some satin, some like silk and other stuff like that, just like kind of like depending on what I'm trying to make. So most of the time I'll make an outfit and go propose it to somebody, or somebody will come to me and be like, this is an idea that I have, and then I'll kind of like work around it and then make it for them. So it's really fun doing it. The whole process from making it, picking the fabrics, having them make it, and then actually going out there and marketing yourself and advertising it. It's just fun and I love it.
Wow, quite a journey.
How
So
long is the
when
turnaround?
Yes. What
did
is
you
it?
get that? He asked you how long the turnaround from, I guess, when someone orders design
Yeah.
until he gets the product.
There's really no time span. If I'm making a collection, it usually takes me about 6 months. Because I'm working on my own pace. I'm doing things. I'm like I don't really have a set deadline. But most of the time, if somebody wants me to do something for them, the most again take is a month or two. Yeah, just depend on it will depend on the timeline because if you're coming to me, this is like what 23rd of February and be like, oh, you have a wedding next month, and yeah, I can work around it. But if you say something in 2 weeks out there, no, I can't. So most of the time, it depends on when it is. So it's good to give like time so you can like prepare and do everything just so that it doesn't mess anything up because when you make an outfit, especially when the person is not there, the person has to put it on and make sure that everything fits the way it's supposed to fit. If it doesn't fit, they have to like do something to touch it. So like a month or two.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. That's good. So, so one thing that I was thinking about as you were talking, right? A lot of times back in the day when people had to like work two jobs to make ends meet, but now it's like people are working two or three jobs not to make ends meet, but because the current trend makes it possible, right? Especially working from home and the kind of jobs that we do, you can literally be working, you know, multiple jobs at the same time. So, so not that you work two jobs, but what do you what do you
Man,
think about this trend
this
that's
was a
going
Gary
on?
boy by day, referee by night.
Well, for some people it's a matter of like what they like doing as a hobby, and for some people that hobby pays. Um, for others, I don't know why you want to suffer yourself and work two jobs if one can take care of you finance. But if they like working, then so be it. And then the most important part, I think that forget the trend. I think that some people just cannot afford doing the things they like to do because of the way the economy is, or the way the countries, or the way the world is. Things have gotten expensive. We cannot fool ourselves. We cannot fool anybody. Things are expensive, and depending on where you live, like people in California, you almost definitely need a second job to survive in California and live comfortable. So everybody has their own reasons. So I can't really speak for everybody.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Carson, do you have two jobs?
um, man. So I have what you would call a side hustle,
Hmm.
on the side. But no, my current job, I know before, like when the pandemic just hit, like there was so much free time. I could, cook in the middle of the day, stuff like that, right? Because it was kind of chill.
Man said
But
cook.
man, it took like literally after the first month of the pandemic, that was it. Like my job got busier and busier and busier. It's gotten to the point where it's like I can't even like respond back to a regular text. I don't even see text messages
and
throughout the
and
day.
fire people.
Like, nah, not even that. It's like imagine like you have a team, you have to each person on your team needs something. So you have to be there whenever they need it, and they have to attend your meetings and do your trainings and your regular stuff on the side. So like there's no time in a day for anything. So I kind of like have like little side hustles like once a week or twice a week. Nothing, as long as something physical where I'm moving around, I'm fine with. But that's literally just for like, let's say, it's just to kill time with. It doesn't add anything. It doesn't take away anything. Really,
Well,
it's just to kill
so
time with.
I hope we're on the same mindset as what side hustle is, because I don't mean balcony activities.
That's you, man. That's you. Don't even start this.
No.
That's you.
Carson's
Don't even
corner.
start this. It's crazy because when we started this episode, right? Maybe before, I'm not sure if you guys are gonna get to listen to this. This man was specifying about Hump Day, and then he's sitting here talking to me about different things. Again, if you want to project, please
I'm not gonna go there,
just
bro.
let the
Look, I
people
just
know.
know I have some questions for Minkala and
I have a question for you though, as well,
for
Aristide.
who?
Yeah, you. Nah, it's a serious
Why,
question. It's a
bro?
serious
I
question.
have a
It's a
question
serious
I'm
for
not a
question.
y'all.
It's a serious
guest.
question.
Okay, go ahead,
And
go
it's
ahead.
actually for every single
No,
person,
ask the
right?
question. Ask the question. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's actually for every single person here, not just you. Can you guys like describe like your day-to-day function? Because obviously, RSD, we kind of have an idea of what you do, but we don't know. We don't know what you do. We have no idea. Blesso obviously is self-explanatory. Mikala, we know what you do, but again, what's like a day-to-day, like if I were to choose your career path, what is it gonna look like for me?
Uh,
Um,
it's pretty easy, honestly. Because I live in a camp, we have to wake up at 5. Uh, we muster, which is like probably we gather. Uh, we muster at 6:45, And then at 6:45, depending on the day, it's being told to us what we'll be doing that day. So basically, the the chief or somebody else, the chief might delegate somebody to be like, okay, this is what we're doing today. This is the machinery we'll be working with. This is what we're going to repair. And then basically we go and do it, and we go and then we have like break, like an hour break or 2 hours sometimes, and then go back to work, and then finish work, and then they put us on liberty because in the military, you work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, unless you're put on liberty. So liberty is like, all right, free time, and then liberty expires at 7 a.m. the next day. So sometimes liberty gets called early, 2:30, 3 o'clock, 4:30, sometimes 7 p.m. It just depends on what we're doing that day. Might be a lot of things we're doing. So we have days that literally about 2:30, we're done with work for that day, and then they send us home, and that's literally until we have to report back before 7 a.m. the next day.
So
It's
before the
amazing,
next
man.
person goes, Theo, so to be in the Navy, you have to know how to swim, eh?
Hey,
Yeah, you
I'm
have
dead.
to you have to pass the
I'm
swim
dead.
call.
Damn, the entire continent
Because
has been disqualified.
because I
Dead.
know I know a few others on this podcast right now that we have just been disqualified from
I'm
joining
dead.
the Navy.
I'm dead.
Look,
Oh, man.
I'm done for.
You too.
Yo.
So the whole
Yeah.
podcast is done. Hey yo,
Hey,
we're
hey,
all
hey,
done.
hey. I'm going to the
Hey,
Navy.
please, you swim in 4 feet. You're talking nonsense
I'm
about
going to
Navy.
the Navy. Whether I
Come
like
on
it or
now.
not.
uh,
No, and
I'll get
yeah,
my own outfit. And people will call me senior man.
Wisconsin, your man.
Aristide,
love
you had
it.
a question. Go ahead.
I had a question for Mingala. And first of all, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast and sharing your path as a Navy man and as a fashion designer, and many more. I really appreciate that. So my main question was, unless I missed it because today has been such a long day.
Pumping.
But I wanted to ask if, initially, I know that obviously fashion designing is like the side hustle for you. It's like a hobby, something that you care to do. And then you also were a sailor at the Navy. So my question was there like a career path that you had in mind at first before, obviously, things happen in life, you find yourself in different, sometimes we have a picture of where we want to be, and then sometimes, it doesn't really go that way, or we take separate steps to get there, or different, steps. So my first question was, what was your initial, or if there was like an initial career path that you wanted to take, and then obviously you've opened up about some of the benefits of being in the Navy or in the military, and how that can benefit you and your family in the future, which is something, because me myself, I actually was looking into joining, even though I can't swim.
Joining
Amen.
what? QIF.
So, but my question was, yeah, what was your initial, if there is an initial, path that you wanted to take as far as career wise?
um, I've actually been through a lot of different careers. Um, Before coming here to the States, I was a journalist. Um, I did newspaper, I did radio, I did TV, presenter, writer, um, for about 2 years. And then I came here, and when I came here, I was basically a jack of all trades. Like I literally did everything from being a CNA to delivering food, all types of jobs you can imagine, like bill collector, newspaper delivery. But then in 2016, I had my first corporate job as a basically admin assistant, and then after that, I didn't really. That's like 2017 is like kind of like when like I was following the trend also of like, yeah, I'm gonna do IT. I was taking like the crash courses. I did cybersecurity for a bit. have a security plus certificate. A couple years back, I did system admin, and actually had a job as an IT coordinator for the company I was with. But then it was just it's you know I looked at it. I just looked at how far I've come, and then looking into the future, I could be like, okay, I can still get an IT job in the Navy, even though it's gonna take a while. I can still get an IT job, so but the security thing was more predominant. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go join the military and actually have it as a permanent career for me now, just so that I can be stable with one job and also have the opportunity to do some of the things that I like.
Okay.
So it's kind of like how it went for me. Like I cannot tell you I've always wanted to be this and that until
There's been so many different areas.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's been so
Okay.
many. But one of them was just me following that IT trend and then started studying about IT and I'd like, if anything I want to do is IT and then now I've decided to be an IT specialist in the
Okay.
military. Yeah.
Yeah, and like sorry, bless Bill, but you actually touched on one of my other questions I was going to ask you. You said that you knew that when you got into the military, when you got into the Navy, you knew that it was a avenue for other areas. You could still do IT while in the military, which also goes back to my point of me initially wanting to join the military because a lot of times people join the Navy, the Army, or the Marines because they want to get that clearance because people want to work for the government and sometimes the government asks for a certain amount of clearance or something like that, and sometimes the way to do it is to join the military. So in your words, would you say that would you recommend, for someone like me or would you recommend that it's a good idea to maybe join the Navy or to join the military if you want to be able to access those other venues of like, different career paths, to be a doctor, a nurse, someone in IT or security analyst or something like that. So in your opinion, what would you say about that?
It really be awesome if everybody could join the military because there's a lot, so much benefits you get from housing to schooling, like you going to school and everything, and health and career. But the one thing with the military is you really have to be disciplined, because if you get into trouble and get separated from the military, it's like a permanent stain on your record, and it's actually gonna make stuff worse for you. So yeah, you should join, but for people that are not disciplined or people that get into trouble, it might do them more harm than good because we have a lot of people that join and then cannot even finish basic training, they decide to quit and then they get separated and then that's just it on the record. Now you cannot work in the government. Anytime they run a background check on you, it always comes back with like failure to adapt or initially discharged, just meaning that okay, they cannot trust you, so it might be more harmful.
I have
Oh
a
yeah.
question, right?
Oh,
I have a
sorry.
question. So you mentioned that join the Navy, you have to know how to swim. So is that a prerequisite, or do they teach you how to swim?
It's not a prerequisite, and honestly, the Navy does not teach you how to swim. I went there not knowing how to swim. Um, that once you fail your initial swim assessment, you come back for swimming lessons, like they call it. But the Navy does not teach you how to swim. So basically, you're gonna be coming back every day when they can let you come, and you're gonna learn how to swim. So they have swim instructors there, and you basically do the same thing every day. You get into a kiddie pool. They tell you, okay, swim from this end to the other without your feet touching the ground. If your feet touching the ground, they'll be like, all right, sit there. And if you pass, you go to level two, you go to level three, and then that's how you get qualified. And then for those who are not able to pass that level one is basically called water acclimation. They let you do some kind of crazy drills like, okay, lay back, kick your feet, on PT, push, whatever, and which is basically all you have to do to swim. But for some people, it takes a short time to know it. Others, it takes a very long time. So every day you come, they tell you the same thing. Lay back, kick your feet, arm PT, push. Literally the same thing. They make you do jumping jacks in water. They make you do push-ups in water, just like they call it water affirmation. Until you get it, until you be like, oh, this is all I have to do. Lay back, put my hips up, arm PT, push. So technically, they don't teach you how to swim because they will not let you practice. Like they're gonna tell you those stuff, and they'll be like, okay, do the jumping jacks in water. Okay, do the push-ups, do that. And then you guys go. Come back the next day, you have to swim from one end to the other. So you have to like apply what they told you that day. Even though that previous day they didn't give you the chance to like practice the swimming, like so it's good to know how to like it's good to learn how to swim before joining, but it's not a prerequisite. You can like basically learn how to swim while in the Navy. I learned how to swim in the Navy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like they give you the tools. You just gotta pick it up and work with it.
Yeah. So the Navy does not teach you how to swim. They'll teach you basic water surviving techniques, but
Mm-hmm.
you should not go in there expecting that it's gonna be like in the civilian world where it's not like that because every day you go there is like 150 people there with you in that pool trying to pass the swim certification.
So quick question before Bell, comes in. So you've talked about the basic training and swimming and obviously like the physicals. So in my mind, I'm thinking if I want to join the Navy, I have to be in a certain like physical state or like fitness state, right? So for you, when you joined initially, and you knew that you were going to join, did you try to get in the gym to get fit or to get yourself ready for all like the obstacles that were going to come to your way? And if you did, is that like a recommendation that you would make to somebody who's trying to join the Navy? Say, okay, maybe you should start getting in the gym just to get yourself ready for so that's coming up.
Yeah. I mean, prior to me joining, I can say I used to go and run. I used to go running. Like I'll go run like 3 miles. There's a park nearby, and I did that. Um, I used to try and do push-ups in my house to the best as I could. So they have like what they call a physical assessment thing they do. So it's basically three things. You have to run a mile and a half in under 11 minutes, under 12 minutes, depending on your age. You have to be able to do certain amount of push-ups depending on your age, and then you have to hold a plank for a certain amount of time, and everything is depending on your age. So there's alpha males, bravo males, charlie males. So from like um 17 to 19, 20 to 23, and then the older guys. So the older you are, the less push-ups and planks you have to do. So I was not fit. I cannot tell you I was fit all the way because I couldn't. I can tell you for a fact I could not do 30 push-ups before joining. But once I joined, they used to make us do drills. We have PT and other stuff. And by the time the physical assessment came, I could do 60 push-ups easily. So yeah, the artist is kind of like get you ready. They kind of like they form you in a little bit. They help you like because I think it's just all a mindset. So they kind of like help, you know,
So
get you ready. Like if you're not ready, but other things like the run, like you have to be able to run. If you're like 20 years old, you have to be able to do 11 laps under 12 minutes.
maybe,
Yeah, so that's basically it.
when you said something about you need to be disciplined, the first thing that came to my mind was blessing. Because blessing. That's all.
Yes, pa.
Better cook at 11
man.
p.m. and eat at 12:01.
I'm disciplined, man. We have fitness tests too as referees. So
Yeah, I forgot about that.
This guy said
Yeah.
that he does 50 push-ups. Let me call Francis Ngannou. Like I have somebody that you need to
I know.
fight.
I have your
No,
next
no, no.
opponent.
Don't even call Francis. You saw that video with the trainers where he's slamming the tires on the people's stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's who you need to call. That's who you need to call.
That
50
guy was like,
push-ups.
nah,
So
man, no
you have to,
more.
you have to. Nah, can you do 60 push-ups? In fact, nah, can you do 10 push-ups?
Nda, can you do
Yo,
60
what kind
push-ups
of
in 1 week?
disrespect? Do you want to do this right now
Can you do
live
60 push-ups in
in
1 week?
4K?
Say 1
You
week.
want to do this?
Yeah, in 1 week.
I
Bruh, what you
can't
talking about,
in
man?
half a
I do
year.
Say
100
1
every
week.
morning. Come on, bro. Don't disrespect me on live in 4K like this, bro.
Okay, so
Yo,
that since you say you do 100 every morning, right? We're gonna put you on the spot, right?
come on,
We're
yeah,
gonna have a day in the life of an NYK host,
cool.
and the
All right,
first part of your video has to be those 100 push-ups.
it is what it is. Let's
All
get
right,
it,
all
man.
right.
Look,
You
look,
know
look,
what's
look, look.
crazy? Hold
You
on 1
can get
second.
100 push-ups, but I didn't tell you the intervals in which I'm doing them.
I told you I have 1 week. But
Shut
I
the
don't
hell up,
condone to
too.
hazing, please. I don't condone to hazing.
nah,
Thank
honestly,
you.
as soon as Mikala said, "Oh, 11 laps or 12 laps in under how many minutes?" That said, "Hey, I'm dead." He was done.
Bro, look, running, nah, man. Look, it's
Yeah,
different if you're running to chase a ball and to just be running because you're running.
Now, which
yeah.
I
one are
know
you
what
good
you like
at?
to chase. No, he
Which one
likes
are
to
you
chase
good
Look,
at?
look,
something
look, look.
else.
That's
Which one are you good at?
that's not the point.
Yeah.
That's not the point.
All right, guys. All right. Does anybody have any questions for Monsieur, the Navy expert, the guy who does 60 push-ups easy? Eh?
In 1 minute.
Just pump it anyhow, like it's home day.
Nah, I
Yeah,
mean,
still don't know.
I think he's done a pretty good job of explaining what his day-to-day work program is like, and how he got there and why he's doing what he's doing. Now let's ask Aristide, what's his day at work like?
Finally.
Look, all right, I'll answer your questions, man.
You know if I answer
So what I do is, to keep it in
high
I'm
level.
an information assurance analyst. I access information systems to make sure they're in compliance with certain government standards
Access.
and publications. All right. So on a day-to-day basis, like we have like projects and they give you deadlines. So honestly, it all depends on how you manage your time. It's all about time management because it's not like any, like, for example, if I go into work as a like a as a at a grocery store as a bagger, I already know what my day is gonna be like. I'm gonna be bagging stuff. So if I'm working, for me, what I do
What does
is
that
like
mean, bagging stuff?
bagging food, man,
Putting
in the
stuff in bags.
groceries.
Oh, okay.
You
I
Let's
know,
talk
thought
with
you
the
were
back now.
like
I used to
using
be a
an
bagger.
IT term that
You
that
take
I'm
care
not
how boys
familiar
Thank
with.
God.
foolish people.
That's growth. I used to be a
Because
bagger
you
at Giants,
prophesy.
so thank God for growth. But anyway, I think for me it's different every single day because it can go from just being in meetings and doing your own personal work, and then ad hoc activities that people ask you to do. So it all depends really. I can't really give a a, a, a detailed description of what I do day to day because it really varies. Honestly, some things come up, and also with my own project that I'm doing for myself, other things always come up. So it really depends. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But so I wanted to ask that question back to you because you're also a man of many hats. You're a scrum master, you're a referee, and you're many other things. But mainly, I wanted to talk about the refereeing part. And as us as Africans, we love football, we love soccer. I wanted to really, if you want to give us a brief, a summary of how you started as a referee and what level of refereeing you are in right now, and maybe a dive into salary expectations and stuff like that, or monetary stuff,
Dive.
if you want to, a dive, as you used to
Nice
be a
word
goalie,
choice.
you can.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro.
Okay,
Or
well,
dive into DMs.
so man, when did it start? I think it started in 2016. After I got done playing college soccer, and then I was kind of helping coach, and then there was an opportunity. What my coach at the time, the head coach at the time, said, why don't I, no, actually, when there were like scrimmage games between, the team, like, maybe they said purple team's going to play the white team, they needed somebody to just kind of act like a referee in the middle. So I would get in the middle of those games, and as time went on, I started enjoying it. And I was like, my coach was like, "Why don't you register and get your certification and start doing it?" And I was like, actually, that'd be a good idea. So I did that, started doing some high school in 2016, and then eventually I got into college, and then I got into the US soccer side of things. Ever since then, it's just been so much fun. I mean, there are days where you come back from the field, you're tired, you're exhausted, but you had fun while doing it, and you make some money on the side. So in the United States, as a U.S. soccer official, you start at grade 9. At least back then, when they had the grade levels, you started as a grade 9, which was like recreational, and then you went to grade 8, which is like grassroots soccer, and then you work your way up. The lower the numbers, the higher your level is. So right now, I'm currently, if we still had grades, I'll be a grade 6, which is a regional referee or state referee as it was known back then. So we do the highest level of games in our states and our regions. So, and I keep trying to work my way up. Eventually get to the big game, right? The professional game. I've done some like semi-pro, like Division 3, if you want to call it. And then on the college side, I've done up to like Division 1, like the Big 12 games. But the journey doesn't end here. So I'm still working hard and trying to get my way up. But doing that is not easy as well, right? So we have tests we have to take, we have trainings, we have fitness tests, and then you have to do games and they assess you and just think about how many people are doing it. Everybody wants to be on that big game, right? But there are only so many games, so it's not easy. But I love what I'm doing. So
So do
I
you
don't
get
know.
promoted with the test when you pass the test, or how do you get to the next level?
So from depending on what level you are, sometimes you might have to stay at one level for 2 years before you can try and get assessments and then do a fitness test to move up to the next level. So now the level I am right now, which is the regional referee, I do not dictate when I move up. I can only put myself in the best position that I can, and then they'll say, "Hey, okay, we think that this guy can do these games. Why don't you come here and we'll test you?" So at this point, I'm just working hard and hoping for that call. And when it comes to pay, refereeing is something that to get to the big games or to the the big money games, you have to almost spend a lot of money and not make much money to get there. But once you get there, I think it's worth it.
So it kind of starts with a passion, and then the benefits come later.
I mean, so there are the
Expensive
people
passion.
there are the people who do it just for fun, right? Those people who do it for fun, just around, they make the money. But we get paid for the games we do. But now when you're trying to move up, like I said, you have to put yourself in the best position. Sometimes the best position might not be in Kansas here, right? So I have to leave from here now and travel to like California or Arizona, and sometimes they might not pay for that.
Right.
I have to pay for my travel. Sometimes I have to pay for my stay. And whatever amount of money I make from the game, it's not going to be able to cover up for all the travel and the stay, but maybe the networking that the
You mean-
opportunities that I looked for when I was there, or the people I met, might be worth it later on.
For sure.
So is
Okay.
that like the expense that you say when you have to spend money? Is that the main thing you have to spend?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so didn't somebody that you used to train just get signed to a team recently?
Oh yeah. Yes. So this kid, he got signed by a USL Championship team, SKC2. I mean, I used to train with him, and then eventually we started having like private lessons and just help each other. But I think you know he has made it to where he is today, not because of me having those lessons with him. It's just his dedication he had, and he had always been a hard worker. So I think he deserves to be where he is right now.
My friend, give yourself some credit. You were at least some kind of influence in that kid's life. You don't know it, so take
Yeah.
take the credit.
I mean, he was an influence on my life as well.
Number
Just like
one bullshit guy.
just like I'm an influence in Catherine's life, but I never get
Negative
thanked.
influence,
So
please. Negative influence. I'm trying to unlearn the things you taught me.
shut up.
Please
But
give,
this sounded like
unlearn those
Give
grammar
one
things.
thing you're
eventually.
trying to unlearn.
One thing I'm trying to unlearn:
Yes.
being late. Actually, I learned that from
Hmm.
you. I learned that from you. I
Who?
can't even
Bell,
get my
right?
sleep from that. Yeah, I learned that from you.
Don't pima. Don't pima.
Wow.
All right, guys. We're gonna
No,
wrap
no,
this up.
time out. You didn't tell us a day in your career, sir. Go ahead.
Next episode.
No,
I'm
next
gonna leave you
episode.
guys on a cliffhanger. Come back to Now You Know
Cliffhanger.
podcast, and you find out the day in my life. Okay.
Mm.
All right, cousin, you can shove it.
Oh, one more question. For me, Mikala, how long have you been in the service?
Actually, I'm still a firstborn. Maybe I left November 9. I literally just got done with my phase 2 training.
Okay.
So right now I'm on leave, 10-day leave, and then next week I report to my command.
Well, thank you for your service. People in Russia are calling something, so we might not. Maybe one of these days we'll
Please
see if in Russia.
don't be dropping names like anyhow, please. Don't know how it can affect us.
I know, master. But
I especially you that you were saying that you want to join me. The only thing I'm joining is YF. But
Yeah.
no, seriously, Minkala, thanks for your service. And actually,
Yep.
it's not like I'm taking Bell's job, but thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Where
Thank
can we
you.
find you, my guy? Where can we find you now?
If I
Especially
think,
for your
okay,
fashion.
people want to.
I'm a very fashionable guy.
Because
Oh,
I might
yeah.
have.
Tell us about
no.
your where we can find you in terms of your personal, and also if our audience, right? Because I know we have a lot of stylish people, not named Cousin. Cousin doesn't know how to sap. But
Look,
people
man,
like
Crocs, don't hit on
Aristide
my
and
Crocs.
Blesso and myself, we like to look good in African attire. So and I'm sure
good in
a lot of
anything.
our listeners also would like to get some of your items. By the way, even before we even get to that, this guy actually sent me a care package
Oh,
the other day. He sent me a care package, just to put himself out there. So definitely, I've seen his website. I know you mentioned that he has some new stuff coming soon. So
Yeah.
just tell the audience, where they can find you. If you have Instagram, you have a website, just lay it out.
I shut down my website when I was going with Basic. I had nobody to manage it, and it's now back on. But I'm on Instagram, Style by Minket. STYLEBIMINKET. Style by Minket. That's like the only social media platform. I'm on Facebook, Cherdon Minkala. Cherdon Minkala is my Facebook name. Not so active on there, but I also check my messages and on there. But Instagram is like the main place where I like interact with people and show my stuff on a day-to-day basis.
You probably heard right. Style by
Yes,
Minket.
I just followed. I just followed
I just followed as well. And
better
We have a
follow
lot
him.
of
this
mutual
looks
friends,
so-
man. We have a
this
lot of
thing look-
mutuals.
Yeah.
These designs are
Mm-hmm.
fantastic.
I think we met on that one app. What's it called? Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Back in
Oh,
back in the day.
so I
I think
probably
that
met you on Clubhouse too.
yeah,
then.
we definitely were in the
Yeah.
same some similar rooms back then.
Kongosa House is probably where you were.
You
Or Kongosa Bar,
would
whatever.
never catch me. I was never there. I was never there. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all taking the time to chat with us. Senior officer, cutting you the cafe once again.
I'm not an
Yes, sir.
officer.
We are cutting the cafe. That's in cut cafe. Yeah,
Oh,
the
shit.
hand, good boy.
The only thing Cassie needs to cut is his dreads. They're way too long. You need to cut it.
You need to cut the
time.
bullshit. That's what you need to do.
Oh, shit.
I said I look like OT Genesis. Is that true?
Oh my god.
Oh, you do. You do look like OT Genesis.
Cut it. Cut it.
Yo,
Oh,
you guys
lose
are
the
you guys are
curveball.
brothers, bro. You guys are definitely brothers. Same head. Hey, that nose is just identical.
You guys go and check your ancestry
Bro.
DNA.
Even
It's
the
very
hairline,
important.
bro. Even the hairline. You
There's that
can
little-
tell OT
there's that
Genesis
little-
is the older brother because he's gone bald already. But so your turn is coming, bro. Join
Cut
your
down.
brother.
Cut down.
Cut them. Yeah, cut it. Shave it. Shave it
Cut
instead.
it. All right, this was fun. There's definitely gonna be a part two. But on behalf of the whole crew, it's been fun. We have Blesso, we have Nda, we have Chef Ka, and we have
There.
senior officer in the Navy. If you are drowning in the Pacific Ocean or Indian
Don't
Ocean
call
or
Bell.
Ocean, don't call me, don't call Chef Ka, don't call Nda, don't call
I might
Blesso.
make it.
Call
Like,
the
call
senior.
me.
No, please don't call Blesso. Call Minkala. Minkala will be there expeditiously. All right.
Spell it.
I don't want to. That's why the spelling bee. Can't spell it there. Anyway, this episode was brought to you by our good friends at SITM. Do check them out. It's been fun. Follow us on Instagram at NYK Podcast and also on Twitter at NowYouKnow1. We will be back. Stay tuned and peace out.
Yalla.
Yalla.